One of the key principles we like to teach our members at Phil's Stock World is be the house, not the gambler. Stand around a casino, and every day you'll see thousands of people walk through the doors and play various games of skill and chance, and yet none of them are likely to ever be as rich as the person who owns the casino. That, over the long run, the odds are always in his favor. This is not gambling, it's a mathematical fact. How would you like us to teach you how to use this simple mathematical concept to turn investing from gambling into earning by teaching you to be the house? This is the key to learning how to be a true investor in the stock market and not just a hapless trader of stocks. Or, to sum it all up, we'll teach you to be the house and not the gambler.
Experian Travel, a subsidiary of Cruise Planners Travel Advisor, is merely a selling agency and makes no warranty expressed or implied. Each Cruise Planners is individually owned and operated. Experian Travels and Cruise Planners, an American Express travel representative, has a tremendous reputation for quality, service, and a very competitive pricing for all of your travel needs. Our travel advisors will help you discover exciting adventures around the world, from
Hemp Boca, products of purest natural ingredients, and providing a safe alternative method for relief from many symptoms, creating a healthier lifestyle without the use of opioids. Use Hemp Boca products for improved mental health and overall well-being. It's safe, legal, and non-psychoactive. Our pure and high-quality CBD is from clean industrial hemp, then extracted slowly over days to produce the strongest and most effective products on the market, made in the U.S. with no synthetic ingredients. Committed to bringing our customers the highest grade CBD oil on the market. Our industrial hemp, it's organic with no solvents and pesticides, gluten-free, vegan, full spectrum, and third-party double lab tested. Our top priority is your health and wellness, and we are confident you will love our products and the amazing relief so you can enjoy the things you love to do. Try our products and start living a healthier lifestyle. Hemp Boca. Good health and good sense are two of life's greatest blessings.
The views and opinions expressed on the Hemp Boca Show are those of the guests and audience, and are not those of the host, this station, media platforms, its management. The Hemp Boca Show is strictly for entertainment purposes only. Any information related to CBD products providing during the show are not intended to treat, diagnose, prevent, or cure, or make any medical claims. Before using CBD, Gene and Chris recommend you seek advice from a medical professional. Keep all CBD products away from children. Women who are pregnant, trying, or breastfeeding should not use CBD or hemp products unless instructed by your medical doctor. Hemp Boca's products are made in the USA from an FDA-registered facility that also carries the GMP, Good Manufacturing Practices, Organic, and ISO, International Standards Organization certificates. To access lab reports, visit www.hempboca.com. You must be 18 years or older to purchase product from Hemp Boca.
Welcome, everybody, to the Hemp Boca Show. I'm Jean, and my co-host is Christopher Ranzo. How are you, Chris?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
And,
we are in the new studio. This will be our third week.
Yes.
2 weeks for me. I missed out on the first show.
Yeah, it's really
I apologize
nice.
for that. But welcome, everybody. We have a great panel of guests here. Mr. Phil Davis is back from last week from Phil Stock World. We'll be talking a little bit to him about what we left off last week. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. Do you?
Don't throw that back.
I do not.
Thank you.
Yeah. Someone remind me and we can get going.
Yeah, right?
And we have Dr. Bouget and his lovely assistant. I'm sorry, no, Jessie, office manager.
It's the right hand. She's the right hand.
Right hand
sure.
lady.
Work wife.
Yes, work wife. Hi, Cheryl. How are you? Nice.
Hi, Cheryl.
Yeah.
Hi, Cheryl. Cheryl is Dr. Bouget's wife, Cheryl Bouget.
So.
She is a lovely. That's actually how we met. Did she ever tell you? Yes, from a networking, a women's association networking at the Blue at the Boca Resort restaurant.
Yeah, coincidentally, she knew son knows some customers too. So
yes,
friends.
Meryl from the Spa Z.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Spa Z Heather works for me as well. She's my massage
Oh,
therapist
not.
from Spa.
And she had
Okay.
used massage oil on. Yeah.
Yes, on the patients, she loves. Yeah,
Yeah.
she said the patients loves the massage oil.
She's phenomenal.
Yes, she is. And
Yeah.
that's how we
Yeah, we
met,
met
got
at-
into talking, and that's how it led to your office that one morning.
and here we
Lovely 10
And here we
o'clock.
are.
Nice.
Well, Dr.
And-
Bouger contributes to the Hemp Focus Show once a month, at an average when you can. And if you're not here, Jesse's here, so we do.
Yes.
We appreciate.
Yes.
We appreciate it because I think coming from a doctor's standpoint on how CBD is affecting,
Yes.
patients, and I know you're using a lot of different brands, great products. Including ours. We're always appreciative of that, and we always want to know how things are going. If you what types of patients, what types of symptoms that they're using. CBD doesn't have to be hemp focused CBD. It could be any product that you're using,
Sure.
and just basically what the results are, what the feedback you're getting. Because I personally see a positive change in the stigma. I think it's over time it's gonna get better and lessen. But individuals like yourselves, especially doctors, are using it can help with that.
Right.
And
With that knowledge,
we can sound biased most part, but coming from you, it's organic.
There's a big interest. So you see the transition from other things, and we've talked previous shows where people ask for it, and you'll have we were discussing earlier. Sorry, on how it's trending away from cannabis, because you'll have a lot of people that are city workers, police officers, military, different things, and they can't test positive.
Yeah.
Right.
So they want an alternative to do something, and they've heard about a lot of different things, and we have a lot of that clientele that uses it, and they're having great results. This morning, I was telling
Yeah.
Jesse the story. I've been working out because I'm fat. I'm trying to lose weight, and my arms hurt. And I put your product, by the way, this morning all over my biceps.
Our
I couldn't
massage
sleep
oil.
last night, and I'm fine today.
Wait, the massage oil?
This morning I did it, and I was like, oh my! I couldn't lift my arms, couldn't sleep, rubbed it all over my arms, and here I am. I feel pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's a
That's
testament
great.
from me.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
So-
great. Well, what was I remember you being on the show last time, and you talked about another a patient using body butter, I believe. Was it a body butter? But it was too early to kind of give a case study, or so to speak, or just shed some results. Do you have any results from that? And how's it?
The diabetic patient with their open sores on her foot. Yeah, here we go. So, it has gotten better. Her wounds have closed. So her wound is actually shrinking, and the callus is coming down, and hopefully it'll heal up. It's taking a little bit longer, as is with all diabetics. They heal slowly.
Right.
So,
We
That's
see some
great
stuff
news.
that's
Yeah.
instantaneous, and
Right.
of course nothing like that.
Right.
But
Right.
That one was
musculoskeletal
drastic.
stuff and other things that are manageable.
Yeah.
People tried it. Her dad was one who talked about her dad.
Yeah.
Dad saw me and he was having lots of problems, and I was getting better, and that was the last little thing that
Well,
helped him get over the
yeah,
edge.
everybody's programmed differently.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of
And
course.
It's not. It's like there's no two CBD products or two CBD alike. It's the same thing with human beings.
Right.
There's no two people alike.
Of course.
So you're going to get the results. But I think the common denominator in all this is that most of the feedback is positive, that it's making a difference. It doesn't have to be that it's 100%.
Yeah,
But
we've
you're
really
making
never
a
had anybody
difference.
say, didn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We really never have. That's.
Are you showing a reduction in signing off on prescriptions?
There's still people that are going to get prescriptions in the beginning. That doesn't mean that they're not going to transition over because they want to try other things. There are some people that are just used to having their prescription, and that's what they're going to do.
Of course.
yeah.
But there are other people that don't want to have that.
Yeah.
And they want to try other things. So they'll even get the prescription in the beginning from one of our doctors, and they'll be like, do I have to fill this? I'm like, you don't have to fill that. There's a lot of things you can try. We have advertisements for our products, and they want to try that. So, what's the best way to go about it? Well, we suggest a topical and a gummy, or, a combination
Sure.
of things, and try enough of a milligram where it's doing something for you and you can back off. Rather than
Right.
starting at
Right.
the lowest milligram and working your way up. And there's a price point difference for some people where they're scared to spend that money, but you spend that money, you're using less, and that lasts longer, you have more milligrams. So To answer your question, you said people are different. Some people want their meds.
Yeah.
Others are either sick of their meds or they don't want to take any.
Yeah,
they
it's
don't want to get
understandable.
hooked on, and they try
Right.
everything.
You know, we talked about last week about the most searched product is CBD.
Yes,
It's
I have
declared
an
the
article on
most
that.
Searched product on the
sent
internet.
out today. Yes, the most Googled. I mean, right
Yeah,
now,
Google.
the trend is CBD as far as the health conscious. Like, they want to know more about CBD and how it interacts with your body and how it can help. And I have found another article from the Medical News Today on what is CBD oil and everything you need to know about CBD oil. There's so many articles out there. Who to trust, Phil? I mean, who?
to
What
trust,
is the
Phil?
most trusted? What is the most trusted site that you would recommend to, get your articles that is formative and that people can say, okay, I can trust this writer or this editorial?
In what way? I mean, trust in what field, do you mean?
CBD, as far as
Oh, and
taking
CBD?
CBD.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I'm not an expert on who the most
Subjective.
trustable thing is, but I would look for like something like WebMD or like the American Medical Association, something like that. I want to look at like something that's actually has some authority and that crosses studies. But this, the problem is there's so many people who purport to be experts on things that aren't.
True.
So you want to
true.
just stick to like, known magazines like Men's Health Journal, something like that, and also university studies. But the university studies are never going to be conclusive anyway. So
Right.
you really kind of have to just weigh it out.
Yeah. Well, except reading the educational tab on hempoga.com website.
Yeah, I'm sorry, in the education, and of
That's
course
the
the
answer I was
educational
looking for,
tab.
really.
Is that the form? Yes, you the foremost authorities. I just don't think anybody is. So I think that's the problem. Is it's hard to
Right.
say that anybody has an exact right answer. Unfortunately, with the whole problem with the internet is that it's very hard to say who's got a valid opinion.
Right.
20 years ago, if you were published and you had a book, there is an assumption that you had some idea what you were talking about.
Or you're on TV.
Right.
Or you're on TV.
Yeah.
That's true. There were much less channels.
Yeah.
And if you made it through the filter to get on TV, then probably you had some idea what you were saying.
We had talked about this
or if you had a
last
radio show,
Right.
it was harder to have a radio show. There used to be millions of dollars to behind you to get on a radio. You weren't really going to get there by just like being Alex, what's his face, the InfoWars guy. It's just, you can't just spout off any crap and find a few people to listen to you because you're broadcasting from a little tiny room somewhere and just
Right.
screaming into a microphone.
Right.
That's what it is now, though. It's hard to tell the difference between someone like
Podcast,
that
right.
and someone else. And people go, "Oh, well, he's got a lot of viewers," but that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
This
That is so
this
correct.
guy with the trees just got 20 million viewers and for a good cause, but he just picked up 20 million followers by doing this promotional to plant trees. So it was
Right.
a brilliant promotional. I don't want to say that he was doing it just to make the followers, but I think it did start out where he was trying to get followers, right? Did he say if I got it?
20 million
It started out.
followers.
He started out saying if I get 1 million followers, I'll put up $1 million.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And then when he got to 20 million.
So then after that, he said, "Oh, let's go for 20 million,"
Yeah.
and he's got 20 million followers.
So he's going to match that?
What? No, he's not
No,
matching
no,
that.
he's not matching that.
Those people
They're
donated.
granting 20 million
Oh,
trees.
Yeah, it's really good though. It's really wonderful.
great.
But nonetheless, the point being that doesn't make him an authority on trees. Even he's not the Lorax. He's just a guy getting followers.
That is so true. That is
Absolutely
true.
right.
And I think that's the problem with the whole problem with the internet and all this fake news and everything else people scream about. It is because it's just way too easy to be. You're equally in front. I have my own newsletter and I'm right there with the Wall Street Journal. People read the Wall Street Journal, then they read Phil Stockworld, and they say, "Oh, Phil Stockworld disagrees with the Wall Street Journal." I can imagine the Wall Street Journal going, "Ah," it's like Phil Davis out there. And that's but for their readers, they're going to grant. They come to trust our sources and they say, "Well, he's right most of the time, so I guess we'll follow him." And that's great for me, but terrible for the Wall Street Journal, who have a giant building in the middle of Manhattan and pay
pays
millions of dollars a year for their staff.
It's like
Yeah.
a news.
Kind of like us.
It is.
You know,
It's kind of
it
like
is
anybody.
manifest.
There's perfectly. That's what I'm saying. There's lots of diamonds in the rough. Great people to follow and watch and whatever and listen to on the internet. It's great that everybody gets a voice, but the bad side is everybody gets a voice, which means that there's a lot of crap to go through, and it's
Right.
very hard to tell
You don't-
who's.
right, who you don't know who to
Yeah.
trust.
It's like a needle in a haystack. You kind of have to work through it to figure out who's. ready
And
for
especially because we've lost the concept of objective reality.
Right.
Yes.
There used to be an agreement, a consensus among the majority of people that somebody was right and somebody was wrong, and that was that. And you moved along with the person who was right and said, there you go, you were right, let's go.
Right.
Now you can just say two totally different things, even something factual.
Yeah.
And people will just say, well, I'm going to go with him anyway because I like him better. It's like, that's not why you win an argument. You don't win an argument because somebody likes you better. You don't, the president is guilty or he's not guilty. Well, it's a fact. There are legal, there's a legal framework saying
Right.
this is what guilt looks like, this is what innocence looks like.
But
it's
it
not
has
an
their own
opinion.
interpretations. It's
Right.
like,
Right.
you have a group of people
Yes.
that watch CNN, the other group watches Fox.
But it's
I mean,
but the
you
point
have
is,
a different.
but that's the thing. It's not up to interpretation though. It's a fact. You
But
know,
how-
it's
but how
it's
do we know
well,
the fact that
it
someone
depends
didn't,
on-
didn't
because
gather-
there are laws and there are procedures and there is evidence and there is a fact. There was or was not a crime committed. It's that's how it works.
but you have to be proven though guilty. for
Yes,
it to be
but
Yeah.
but also now the jury. If you heard Mitch McConnell yesterday, the jury isn't even objective because Mitch McConnell said, "Well, whatever the president says, we're going to go along with that." Speaking on behalf of the Republican senators.
Oh, well, that's not. Yeah, that,
They are the jury.
Yeah,
Technically,
that's
they are the people who are supposed to be saying guilty or innocent in a trial.
right.
And Mitch McConnell has already said, well, we have a majority of the Senate and we're going to vote innocent without hearing any evidence.
Well, thank you so much, Phil, for that conversation.
Well, yeah,
we're gonna take a quick break. Hold
That was
that thought.
quick.
Already?
Yes, I know.
What?
I know.
Wow.
We're having so much
We can
fun
talk.
here.
There you
We'll
go.
be right back after these messages.
The Hemp
We're
Boca
signing
Show
off.
live in Boca Raton at a fantastic new studio. Thanks to Dawn and Freddie. We'll be right back.
One of the key principles we like to teach our members at Phil's Stock World is be the house, not the gambler. Stand around a casino, and every day you'll see thousands of people walk through the doors and play various games of skill and chance, and yet none of them are likely to ever be as rich as the person who owns the casino. That, over the long run, the odds are always in his favor. This is not gambling, it's a mathematical fact. How would you like us to teach you how to use this simple mathematical concept to turn investing from gambling into earning by teaching you to be the house? This is the key to learning how to be a true investor in the stock market and not just a hapless trader of stocks. Or, to sum it all up, we'll teach you to be the house and not the gambler.
Hemp Boca. Products of purest natural ingredients and providing a safe alternative method for relief from many symptoms, creating a healthier lifestyle without the use of opioids. Use Hemp Boca products for improved mental health and overall well-being. It's safe, legal, and non-psychoactive. Our pure and high-quality CBD is from clean industrial hemp, then extracted slowly over days to produce the strongest and most effective products on the market. Made in the U.S. with no synthetic ingredients. Committed to bringing our customers the highest grade CBD oil on the market. Our industrial hemp, it's organic with no solvents and pesticides, gluten-free, vegan, full spectrum, and third-party double lab tested. Our top priority is your health and wellness, and we are confident you will love our products and the amazing relief so you can enjoy the things you love to do. Try our products and start living a healthier lifestyle. Hemp Boca. Good health and good sense are two of life's greatest blessings.
Something like that. Now she's fixing a thing. You're staring.
Hey, this is
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Hemp Boca
this is
Show.
part of being live.
Yes. We just found something new that we have to wait till
You
the
know,
music
it's
gets
about
here.
being
We have-
yourself.
We have such a
Following
good time during the
directions.
commercials, right?
Yeah, we have supposed to be.
I'm sorry to cut you off earlier, so before we
No,
went to break,
you're sorry
you
for.
were
She's
saying-
sorry for cutting me off, Phil.
Wow.
There you hear it on live.
Yeah,
Come
if
on
you,
now.
you can get a clip of that, and we can put it on a little, put it on a watch. You can loop for you.
I would miss you not cutting me off because it's part of the personality. It's part of it is what it is. I have a question for you,
Yes.
Doc.
Dr. Bouget.
CBD. My perception is that it's non-psychoactive because I feel it does not alter the brain through receptors. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Do you agree that it is because it doesn't alter? Do you consider that as still being a psychoactive occurrence?
I mean, listen, you can look at things a couple different ways, okay? There's a placebo effect on some people. If you want to, medical studies, if they believe it works. So we're talking about a psychoactive effect there, okay? There's different receptors in your body that are keyed in for different chemicals that you take into your body. So, differentiation on cannabis versus CBD, one of them is psychoactive. You actually get high from it. The other one is hitting receptors that do other things in your body. So that's a tough one to answer. We need to see some more conclusive studies on what it actually hits in the body to affect those outcomes. But it's definitely something completely different than cannabis.
Because I think that plays a role in this in stigma too, especially to people that do not want to have an effect from THC.
Well, yeah,
as in the high.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're mentioning a lot of people that's exactly what they ask.
Yeah.
Is there if I get tested at
And
work?
and also people with addictions, their number one fear
Yep,
is to try something new that they will be addicted to.
sure.
That's their number one fear.
Yeah.
So the challenging part is that we're just going to keep talking and case studies and showing this and that, but I think that once we get over that hurdle, I think there'll be more and more people using CBD products, feeling more comfortable knowing that I cannot be impaired
Right.
as long as it, again, is a pure, good quality CBD product, not just across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, like what you're saying there is there's a couple questions. Number one, you're saying they don't want to take a chance where they're going to be addicted to something. But everything that we're seeing thus far, it's not having any addictive effect. People take it and stop it. So a lot of patients don't want to take, hey, I got the prescription. I'd rather not take it. What do you suggest? Well, you don't have to fill it. Try this. So they try those things, and we've been doing it for a couple of years now. There's not really, some people come back and buy more because they like it and it works. But other people, they got through their condition and they're not buying more because it's over.
So you're talking about CBD products?
CBD,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
CBD, that
Just
one
CBD.
cannabinoid.
Absolutely.
Right. What I've read in one article that says that the only side effect that they see majority, the side effect is just drowsiness.
Right.
Is that
And that's
true?
why it does, because it does calm you down. So with certain people, you may just get calm or you may get drowsy. I always tell patients that you need to try it on a day that you're not going to work tomorrow, so you can take it at night, see how you feel, see how it affects you, and then move forward.
But there are people out there that interpret that calmness as the actual high, because marijuana and a lot of people have the same effect. You can be calm or feel tired, but it's really the true THC of cannabis.
Yeah, the CBD part and the THC part of cannabis is what makes you calm. The
Yes.
THC part that makes you high is really just
Which can also
Right.
result to make you calm too,
Yeah.
and sleepy.
Well, it's a
Right.
combination
I mean,
effect
yeah.
because,
Yeah.
That's what I was alluding to.
and also I think this is where it's complicated because it's very hard to study how people in the brain and all that. It takes years to figure out what's actually going on. But
Yeah.
what you don't realize is that many people are stressed out constantly, and their whole lives pretty much stressed out about all sorts of things, worry about things,
Right.
have things on their minds, so on and so forth. They can't sleep because they're constantly stressed out. So when they take something that makes them de-stress, they interpret it as they then go, and they're like, okay, I'm tired now, I'm going to go to sleep.
Right.
But it's not necessarily that CBD makes you sleepy. It's that it just creates a condition in which it is conducive to going to sleep.
great
And-
answer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that
Calms your mind, I guess,
Yes.
especially with people with high stress, anxiety.
Yeah, I mean-
there's so
Are
many
you
people.
okay? Because I'm not at all. So it's like, I realize, though, I realize some people are just stressed out all the
Yes.
time, and just
Bouncing off the walls all the
yeah,
time, I can't sleep.
yeah.
So that's a thing. You never know what effect it's going to have on you.
So now you sleep well?
I mean, I'm starting to sleep well now because I'm doing other things. I'm a little more calm, but like Phil said, I mean, there's millions of people that don't sleep and they're freaking out
Right.
about bills and their investments and
Right.
life
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. So the interpretation is what it is. If it calms them down, they're freaking out thinking it has some type of weird effect on them, when it's actually a very good medical effect.
Right.
Relax.
I
And
think-
get
Right.
some sleep.
I think
Yes.
another challenging part too, Gene, is that you brought it up. You alluded to this earlier, where you have like the private, like the public services, right? The police,
Right?
medical, fire, or just jobs that have random drug testing. In the beginning, I will be first to say that I believed there is really such thing as a broad spectrum where there's no THC. I'm not convinced of that anymore. I think because over and over time I'm reading and really learning about hemp, you really can't get 100% of THC out of a plant.
What is your thought
The only
on
re-
that?
well,
the broad
one sec.
spectrum and full
Well,
spectrum?
the only reason why you are allowed to say no THC is because you're not over the 0.01 threshold.
Right.
But did you know that 0.01 makes it a full spectrum
Right.
product? So my interpretation and how I think we should always brand hemp oka, because again it goes to misrepresentation or misleading, which contributes to a lot of the stigma, is that there is a full spectrum, but there also is an isolate. I have a hard time really being convinced there is such thing as a broad spectrum. Broad spectrum is really just based on your labeling, not really the fact that it is 100%. But it's so little of THC in there that the testing may not pick it up. That's why you see zero. But in theory, there is THC there where somebody who's taking a drug test could pick up.
But that just goes back to the stigma of the whole thing, because it really is a matter of saying non-psychoactive or psychoactive. In other words, you could smoke a joint that's 0.1% or 1% for that matter, and it wouldn't do anything to you. Really, it's not going to have an effect. So unless it's got like 18, 14%, 18%, something in that range, you're not even going to feel what you're smoking. But we have this sort of stigma in the States where it's like people want to say, "Oh, there's no THC in this; there's got to be none." But I do think that probably, and in fact, in other countries they're testing this now, is that and the health systems are testing and saying, "Okay, well, what percentage of THC do we want in our medicines?" Not none. Right. None is not the answer. It's some percentage that they've got to figure out, like where the balance is, because it's a substance. It has certain things.
Right.
Yeah.
That is
100%
correct. Yes.
THC and no CBD. You can't have 100% CBD and no THC. They don't work together like that. The plant doesn't work like that.
I think
Right.
laws, though, are changing where they're legalizing marijuana and they're doing all the other things so it's more acceptable, because what Phil was saying, we originally, when we tested products, a friend of mine's with BSO, he brought us little kits. And we would test all the hemp products. And some, you get popped for that. You know what I mean? It was over what was acceptable. So if they pulled you over and they tested you, or they took you down and tested you, you're testing over and it looks like you were doing, so you were smoking pot.
There's stories
So
out
how do you
there,
differentiate
but there are
that?
stories out there where people were taking no THC product and they were getting arrested.
Right, because they were still
But
THC
but-
in it.
Right.
Or the machine itself is not made for THC testing. It's drug testing. So it could have been the machine itself, the actual device
We
too.
had specific ones for THC when we did it. You know what I mean? Just to check it. So it just
Well,
goes to show you. People can label
Those
it.
new? Were those
No,
the
I
recent?
think
Or they've always
They
had
are.
them?
They have them. They're around.
Calibration. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you guys
That's
are saying
cool.
there's a tremendous difference between one kind of CBD and another as far as brands go and such.
Definitely. I mean, she kind of does everything and puts everyone through it. And hey, try it. So what I do now is I tell people, Phil, try the highest one, or you know what? Don't get 250, get 500, and I can always take you down or take you up.
Right.
But if you do that middle one or you get a higher one, you get more of a dose of it, and you can see how it affects you, rather than taking something you go, is this working for me? Because everybody's different. I mean, I need a little bit more. Your body says.
Right.
She need a little bit
Right.
less. So it's just like medications.
Yeah.
What's the
Right.
milligram of the drug that you
Yeah.
have to take?
Right.
You know?
But also, all CBD products are not the same, right?
They're not.
No.
You know,
Right.
you mentioned gas station CBD products and this one and stuff like that. And then you have a pure product, and that's the other thing. Let's just say you have a product that's in a gas station. We're using that for the reference, and they don't know what's in it. Maybe there's a super high concentration of THC. Maybe there's
Yeah.
none because it's junk.
Gene, remember when we
You
were
know,
in,
it's watered down.
we were in Bell Harbor?
So, you know, professionally, when you look at everything,
Yeah.
I think you get a better understanding of which ones work better.
We were, Gene, remember we were in Bell Harbor? What was it? What is it? 1,000, 1,500 for like $8?
Yeah.
It was.
It was CBD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in a
Oh,
corner.
It was like a smoke shop
Right.
where they sell.
It was
yeah.
less than $10. It was It was at least
They're
1,000 or
well,
1,500 milligrams.
People are buying these.
Now-
like,
Think about this. As a consumer, you wouldn't, but as us in the business, you would. Where you walk in and say, "That's $8 to the retailer, Mr. Numbers guy."
Right.
That's going to be what, $2, $3, maybe $4 to the wholesale.
Right.
Yeah.
I
At
mean,
least 4 or under.
there's no CBD in there.
There's not.
No.
I mean,
There is. I don't know what's in there.
I would dread to think what's in the bottle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
But that's what they were selling. I could not believe what the prices were. We were, but
you know,
look, I think it's hard to say that there's no standards. And I think one thing that we don't appreciate at this early stage of the business is that it's not an accident that there's certain brands of vitamin E that are the certain potency and so on and so forth. There's multivitamins in certain ways. You know why though? Because the companies that are big and successful would have bought that bottle that was in the Bow Harbor Mall, tested
Yes.
it, and then sent a letter to the FDA saying we have a lab test that shows that this is garbage and blah blah blah, and that would shut it down. And that's what happens down the road is the industry gets winnowed out when people who have the wherewithal to have their sales reps go and check other brands. And it's it sounds sleazy and stuff, but it's also
no, it's
somebody's got to do it.
Yes.
hey, there's
The
nothing wrong with
FDA
secret
the
shopping.
FDA can't check every single thing. And what happens is competitors will alert the FDA and say, look, this stuff is not what it says it is.
It has to be secret shoppers out there in all
The
industries.
Consumer Report came down to South Florida and went to random shops and bought
Mm-hmm.
random bigger named products and tested it, and most of it had no CBD in it.
Is that
That's-
the article with the
that is
15
crazy.
companies that
Yes.
got letters from
Yes.
the FDA?
But then
Yeah.
And
then
we
what's
spoke
terrible
about
is
that
the
last
the
night.
worst thing for us is that then people try CBD.
it
Gas
doesn't
station
work.
it's like gas station sushi, it's like you're trying gas station CBD.
No,
but
Publix
people
sushi.
people try people try CBD and they go, "Oh, I tried CBD, it didn't work."
Yep.
So therefore I'm not
Right.
going to try. I don't like the idea because it
right.
didn't work.
I'm-
and that's because it's so hard to explain to somebody how different it is one brand to another, one type
With
to another.
Florida, I used to be in the mortgage industry many years ago. Florida was number one for fraud in so many different aspects, and now it's like you see Florida popping up. To Gene's point, there are more and more companies in Florida that are mislabeling, doing things unethically and what have you. And for me, it's my own stigma with the state. I mean, there's so much garbage that happens here in the state, unfortunately. There are others, but you just in the last, I don't know, a few months or whatever, you just see Florida popping up more and more now. But that's what I hope that the FDA focuses on first when they really start moving
No, I
forward
think
regulations.
they're
is the
moving
labeling.
to the right direction. But I wanted to go back on the article about how CBD helps with certain symptoms, or what one particular subject I wanted to touch base on is quitting smoking and drug withdrawals. I know we touched a little bit on the drug withdrawals and quitting smoking, because there's so many people that smoke and now they're weaning themselves off to vape. And now with this vape, news about people are dying and getting sick off of it.
Also very much a quality issue.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's stating that CBD does help with weaning off the urge to want, needing nicotine in your body. So CBD does help in that aspect. And I think that contributes to people who are trying to lose weight also, or trying to balance that, you're kind of balancing your systems. because I know stress plays a key role of people with, gaining weight. Because I can personally say myself that I'm a yo-yo a lot of times due to stress, depending on, what goes on in my life at a certain point in time. And I find when I'm more relaxed, I can tell myself to choose a better judgment of meals to eat versus something that I wouldn't usually eat. So I think that, what do you think about that?
What's the direct question?
The CBD helping with appetite and smoking and weaning.
I really wouldn't on that situation know yet. I mean, we haven't really progressed to that point where someone said, hey, by the way, or we put someone down that path to see if they want to try to quit smoking. Ours is more clinically orientated around musculoskeletal and accidents and recovery and stuff like that. So I really couldn't answer.
I think the vape industry, or the e-cigs, the customers, majority of them were cigarette smokers. It's the act. It's the act of actually smoking something. And I don't believe an e-cigarette helps somebody who's trying to stop smoking.
I mean,
I think it's just
Well, it can get you off tobacco and put you on a nicotine vape.
They're reducing. It's just the act of.
I mean, my vaporizer has half CBD, half nicotine, so.
Oh, so you smoke?
But I think
how do you feel? Well, I mean, did you want to quit smoking or the e-vape, e-cig?
It does help.
It does.
I mean, it does help me. I can go from the morning till almost after lunch, or possibly even the whole day, without having to go out. You know what I mean? So, and it also helps with my pain because I've had back surgery. So, kind of eliminates both. Because if I'm in a lot of pain, I will go smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
Because that's just how I am. For me, a cigarette will help with the pain rather than popping a pill. But so the vaporizer does help.
I mean, that's something that we could do a small clinical study and put out some info in my office and say, hey, do you smoke? We're going to do a little trial for hemp bokeh. You know, let's try some products here and let's see and, kind of monitor the progress and just get a little small
No,
case.
we don't.
we don't get into vape.
We don't get in vapes.
Okay.
Yeah, but
we're just curious of that smoking. As there's millions of people that are smoking and getting lung cancer.
Without no doctor here, but I think Gene, you're right. I think there is a connection with CBD use and someone who smokes cigarettes. I believe a positive thing.
Yes.
I feel because the CBD already helps you with your anxiety and your stress level but we have to go to
right. Hold that thought.
Another commercial.
We're going to take another commercial break. This is Hemp Bokeh. We'll be right back after these messages.
Experian Travel, a subsidiary of Cruise Planners Travel Advisor, is merely a selling agency and makes no warranty expressed or implied. Each Cruise Planners is individually owned and operated. Experian Travels and Cruise Planners, an American Express travel representative, has a tremendous reputation for quality, service, and a very competitive pricing for all of your travel needs. Our travel advisors will help you discover exciting adventures around the world, from cruises to land tours and completely packaged vacations. We specialize in all types of travel and will create an unforgettable vacation just for you.
Hemp Bokeh. Products of purest natural ingredients and providing a safe alternative method for relief from many symptoms, creating a healthier lifestyle without the use of opioids. Use Hemp Bokeh products for improved mental health and overall well-being. It's safe, legal, and non-psychoactive. Our pure and high-quality CBD is from clean industrial hemp, then extracted slowly over days to produce the strongest and most effective products on the market. Made in the U.S. with no synthetic ingredients. Committed to bringing our customers the highest grade CBD oil on the market. Our industrial hemp, it's organic with no solvents and pesticides, gluten-free, vegan, full spectrum, and third-party double lab tested. Our top priority is your health and wellness, and we are confident you will love our products and the amazing relief so you can enjoy the things you love to do. Try our products and start living a healthier lifestyle. Hemp Bokeh. Good health and good sense are two of life's greatest blessings.
Welcome back to the Hemp Boca Show, live in Boca Raton. We are in a new studio.
I'm Jean. This
yes.
is Chris,
So
co-host. We're here
Phil.
with Mr. Phil Davis.
We got to talk to
and
Phil Davis.
Jesse and Dr. Dave Boucher.
Yeah.
Hello.
Thank you both for being here. Can you do a shout out, like where your practice located, your phone number, website?
Yes.
We're on the northwest corner of Blade.
Right up on that microphone, Jess.
Oh,
Come on.
sorry.
Come
As
on.
we're looking to
Actually,
the,
You got to keep, you keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Come on.
We're on the northwest corner of Glades and Lions in the PNC Bank building on the second floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we
And
go.
the phone
And our phone
number?
number is
Great practice,
561-826-3664.
your website.
WeAlignYourSpine.com.
There you go.
Nice.
And Mr. Phil Davis. How
Yes.
can
How are things
our
going?
viewers get a hold of you?
People get a hold of me?
Yeah, can they call you personally?
No, they cannot.
Or they can Skype you. It's like that time.
No,
remember
they cannot.
at your place? There was a lady who was trying to get a hold of you, and you're like, "Who is she? Who is she?"
Mr.
What, did you
Davis
ever
is
find
too
out?
busy for that.
What? I don't even remember anymore. It's like, look,
but-
yeah.
Go
Anyway,
ahead.
so yes, we have a website where people can reach us at www.philstockworld.com. And oh, look, it's on the screen. That's fantastic.
And,
Saves me a lot of trouble.
how the wheat
Other than that, I
stocks-
remain a man of mystery as far as other numbers and things.
How's
So-
the Hemp Boca profile?
How what?
How
The
is
portfolio.
The Hemp Boca
The Hemp Boca
Profile.
portfolio.
Portfolio.
Portfolio. Yes.
Portfolio.
portfolio? Thank you.
I
Christopher.
we should in fact I was saying to my guys, I said we have to review it after the thing. It's up a couple of percent, but it's only started a month ago, so it's okay. A couple.
You know,
of months
since
ago.
we're going to Thailand
Yeah.
together on the 24th, I guess we'll come back.
When we come back, we have
back.
some work to do. We have to
Yes.
add some positions. It's a bad time of year to add something. We just had
Right.
this whole discussion over at my website because we do live chat during the day, and we're always talking about the market while it's going on and what's happening. And we pick on things to play and so on and so forth. In fact, today I just featured some commodity plays. We did natural gas as a long play on natural gas, and we shorted palladium. And what was the other one? There was something else I don't remember.
How are
Some other
the
stuff.
how are the wheat stocks?
How are the wheat
They're
stocks?
still tanked or
Yeah, generally down. I mean, in
So
fact,
is
that's
the
one of the
best
things hurting
time
the
to
hemp Boca
purchase, right?
portfolio is our MJ ETF, the marijuana
Is this
ETF.
the best time to buy?
It's almost a good time to buy, but it's it's very hard because the Canadian market really screwed up because they all rushed to go public and they raised so much money. And this is like 3 years ago, and they all got huge valuations and went public because their business plan made sense. Their business plan was, well, we're going to have legal marijuana before the United States, and as the United States legalizes, we'll be able to sell it to America and make a fortune. None of that happened, though.
Right.
So this is why our MJ ETF stock is hurting, because all of them had sky high valuations. None of them were able to live up to it because not only are they not selling to the United States because we're still not allowing anything to cross the border,
Right.
but they have too much just to supply Canada.
Right.
Because they all wanted to produce so much stuff, and they all planted so many crops and manufactured so much stuff. It's all piled up in warehouses in Canada, and they can't sell it. So what happens? The prices go down, they lose their butts. Right. And they've got all these stores and all these retail locations and all this stuff, and it's just not, the demand isn't there yet, plus the illegal market is still very large. Because that's another problem with the way they did marijuana, even in the United States, or especially in the United States, is California, for example, has a 25% tax on everything you sell at retail. So that means that your dealer, you've been a customer of your dealer for 20 years, he doesn't
Right.
charge you tax.
Right. and then
Okay,
suddenly-
so what the state of California is saying is like, hey, stop doing business with the guy you know, go to some stranger who has a store down the street, get stuff that's probably not as good, and pay 25% tax on it.
Yeah.
That is not a good selling point.
No.
It would be one thing if the dealers were supplying substandard stuff, but that's not the case. The California marijuana market, most states' marijuana market is robust.
Right.
You know, we've had illegal marijuana sold, and mostly police look the other way. You could smoke a joint walking down the streets in New York for 20 years. Nothing changed.
Right. Right.
All right? Nobody ever
That's
stops
true.
you from... You cannot be arrested for having a joint in New York City. That's not a thing. And, You know, and I'm sure a lot of other cities like that. New York specifically, because I know because I live there. But I mean, nobody ever stops you for having a joint.
So
what about-
the paperwork
Uh,
to
yeah.
arrest you for a joint?
No, nobody. The judge, the judge will kick the cop out of the quarry. Like, what do you get out a joint on the street? Are you
So
kidding
I
me?
got a recommendation for a stock.
Yes,
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
I'll tell you why. Because just a month and a half ago, they had mentioned, now it's out there, they're in discussions on selling marijuana
What?
at the Whole Food chain.
They can't do that.
Why can't they?
It would be very, very tricky.
Why?
Well, because they're national.
It doesn't
And
matter.
they couldn't
Licensures?
commingle the funds. No, they could not commingle the funds. They couldn't spend money that they get their national money could not be spent to buy. It's a crime. You
Right,
can't cross
right.
state lines with money or the product. So they can't have a consistent product. They have to in every single state buy local.
What if it's recreational?
Doesn't
What
matter.
if what if in a state that
You
allows
still can't
recreational?
cross it, but
Yeah,
the point
cross
is,
the border.
you can't cross. They are owned. They are a multi-state agency.
You see, you can't cross state lines. You're saying.
But you would also have to show that the money that was being paid and collected for the pot
in
in
that
the state is entirely from that state and didn't leave. That's very hard to do. That would cause them a lot of trouble.
well, they're discussing.
And
Well, what if they
also,
just did just
they can
one or
talk.
two?
They can
They're-
talk
they're-
about
they're
it.
in-
One or two that,
What?
well, or just do with the
I'm,
states that
I'm telling you, it's
legal,
very
right?
tricky.
Yeah, I'm sure.
As
it
a,
is.
as a seller
may
of
have figured out a way.
as a guy who owns a cannabis company in California, I can tell you that's a freaking nightmare.
Well, what's that guy? His name got big pockets. The billionaire there. But we'll see. But
Yeah,
it's,
and-
it's
and-
interesting.
Also, to the point, Chris, you can't
They-
you can't buy Whole Food stock.
That would be good for them. Too.
They don't.
Somebody already bought them.
What? Who?
Jeff Bezos, he bought the whole company.
Oh,
But who?
Whole Foods. Whole Foods isn't a separate company. They're owned by Amazon now.
well, no, they're
Yes.
owned by Amazon, but don't they? They still have their own. They don't have their own
No.
symbol.
I don't think
They still
Amazon
don't-
would
No,
wanna
we
get into
used
the
to
weed
invest in Whole
business.
Foods. I was sad to see them go. I mean, we were happy to get all the money, but we were
No, I
sad
know
to
they're
see them
part of
get
Amazon.
bought up. Yeah,
But,
but then you'd have to buy Amazon, but then you have to figure out whether Amazon is really worth $2,000 a share, where it is right now.
Yeah, no
Right.
kidding.
That's a little iffy, I think.
It's interesting that they're looking into it. Maybe there's something there.
I
We
think
don't know the whole story. but-
Anybody's got to look into it, but until it's federally legal, it's
Yeah.
just a nightmare because the regulations are such where, look, in essence, if a state legalizes marijuana, the federal government cannot come in and arrest you in the state for having marijuana. But banking is regulated by the federal government. Therefore, you may not put your money in a bank that is a federal bank. You can only put your money in a local bank that does not have offices outside of the state. Money cannot leave. Marijuana money, the second the transaction is used for marijuana, it's marijuana money. Marijuana money cannot leave the state, cannot go out and be put in a federal bank. That's illegal. That's drug money as far as the federal government's concerned. It doesn't matter what your opinion of it is. Legally, it's drug money.
even for medicinal, even on a medicinal purpose.
That's tricky now. It's gotten much more tricky because before there was recreational marijuana, I would have said no, medicinal is okay. Now that there is recreational marijuana, though, and it's mixed up with the medicinal, most banks have gotten harder about it and made it more difficult. Company I invest in, New Age in California, they used to be a huge medicinal marijuana supplier in California. They still are, but I mean, that used to be their only business was medicinal marijuana, and they used to have a bank, no problem. But when it became recreational, the federal government started questioning everything they did. They got kicked out of 3 different banks. They got kicked out of one bank. They said, well, screw you. We've been here for 10 years. What's your problem? They went to another bank to open up an account. The bank's like, no problem. Then a couple of months later, turns out there is a problem. The government doesn't like it. And they start asking questions, and regulators
So
start
you have
poking
to
in.
have a bank account, really. The takeaway to this, strictly for medicinal, and another one strictly for hemp. Like, you can't.
No,
you
if
can't combine
you,
the two
but you
regardless.
can't. You can't. The bottom line is your company has revenue, and the bank is not going to sit there and figure it out. But if the bank doesn't figure it out, I'm the bank. You come to me as a customer, and you say, I want to put money in your bank. I'm like, oh, great. And I say, what's your business? Oh, it's a cannabis business. I'm like, bye. And you can say, oh no, it's medical cannabis, but
Right.
do you ever sell recreational? Even if it's medical, though, I don't even want to hear about it. But if you say, oh, it's medical, and we only sell recreational, but we do that in a separate office and we don't go together, they're like, oh no, because somewhere on your accounting team or one of your people, or you paid an employee who also did something on the other side of the company for the recreational, or you have a co-vendor that does something, or you buy packaging in the same place, you mingle. Too bad. And it's not your problem, it's the bank's problem, because the federal regulators say, you guys are now being suspended. They don't want it. They don't want to come anywhere near it. It's not worth it. You don't have enough money to make them interested in spending the time it would take them to make sure that you're being compliant.
But why are they? But why are they not looking at it as a prescription, like making money off of opioids, and banking that money? What's the difference?
The difference is the difference is the opioid's illegal and the THC is illegal. That's all.
But
They've been doing it
no,
for
not
hundreds
with
of
a
years.
prescription. It's illegal. I'm just
Listen,
saying
I
it's
can
with a
I'll interrupt you
prescription.
for 1 minute because I'll go a step further for him. We work with a doctor. He prescribes medical marijuana. He prescribes. He gets you the card with the state. He doesn't have it. He's not a dispensary. He couldn't put his money in banks. He had to find banks that would take his money. He had to not take a credit card and take cash and stockpile cash because he couldn't put it in the bank until he found, as Phil said, a bank that would take that cash and put it in there and then start to let credit card transactions happen. So it's not even that; it's everything associated with it.
Yeah,
It's the point. The point is that you don't.
Right.
You just don't have enough money to make it worth the bank's time to make sure you are compliant. And if they allow, you could be the most perfectly organized, compliant business out there in the world, but it doesn't matter because if they allow you and then they allow 3 other people, the chances are one of those 3 people is gonna fail somewhere in the compliance, which then threatens their entire organization. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So their answer is anything to do with cannabis, out. And that includes CBD. You've seen that too.
Yes.
You had a credit card guy deny you at one point, right?
Yes. Credit card
Why? For
companies, yes.
CBD. Ridiculous. It says the farm bill. It's national. It says it's okay.
Right.
That happened. I must have had to transfer and rebuild the website 4 times and put new payment gateways in there for our customers because we were getting approved, go through underwriting, 3-4 months later we're denied or whatever. But I remember talking to a representative and I asked him why. And when they actually pulled the plug, it wasn't just us, it was other companies. They didn't even send an email or call us. We had no idea for a while that our payment gateway wasn't working. But I asked why. And all I heard was this whole stigma or this uncertainty with the regulations on CBD. And the conversation, and I'm like, it's interesting. They're putting so much emphasis on CBD. It's not CBD. It's the THC. Why? And I could never understand that. And I asked him, I said, whoever made this decision and made the reason CBD, does that person realize that that's not the cannabinoid you should be addressing? It's the THC. Because the CBD is the non-psychoactive, as we were talking about earlier. But it's interesting how that's the interpretation out there. It's because you are selling CBD, not CBD potentially with THC. You know, and it's but we've gotten past that, you know, but it was a struggle there. It really was
It's
tough.
just they're not going to take the time to differentiate it. That's all there is to it. It's easier for them to make a rule and say, you know what, for the lousy, $100 billion industry that it is, which is nothing in the grand scheme of things in a $20 trillion economy, they're like, I don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
Because that's how a bank looks at it. They say the economy's $20 trillion, CBD is $100 billion. Sounds big to you. I'd love to have a small piece of $100 billion. But from the bank's perspective, it's I don't even know. It's like 1/10 of 1% of the economy. So all they're doing is risking not having 0.5% of the business in the area.
Sure.
I'd rather do that than rather do that than if I'm the CEO of the bank. Rather do that than spend 5 minutes of my time talking to regulators about why I'm doing business with this and that company.
Right.
You know, what do they got to do? They have to go to bat for you every time. They have to be like, oh no, hemp book is different and they don't do this and they're perfect here and they don't do that. And if one slips through the cracks, they're screwed.
That's right. So let's
sure.
go back to talking about our products. we have just a few minutes. Hey.
Gene.
Did everybody see the look that she
Look
gave
at
me?
her.
That look that
like-
she gave me.
No.
You gotta sell something.
Now we're here to sell. Well, it's the holidays.
It is.
And we
It
had told
is.
you guys about the gateway payment that we had, started
Yeah.
up with that Chris had found called Buy Bill,
Mm-hmm.
where you can have payments, no interest. You can have up to 4 payments. It's not like a layaway. You can receive your products as soon as the first payment is made. Then you can make your second, third throughout the month, and you can pay it off right away. Also at the first initial payment. But anyways, our this massage oil. This is what we have been talking about earlier. That how it's helped so many people with neurological inflammation. I mean, pain especially. And also, I think you had gave us headshots of someone who had psoriasis that had used that. That was amazing. I mean, I use this for my hands I have a slight arthritis on my hands. This is really
Migraines. too.
Shingles.
Migraine.
No, actually, shingles is a big thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. People are using it for that, and that's apparently very effective.
Yes, and also
And that's a really annoying little pain that doesn't go away. It's like
Oh,
people,
it's like
people get
needles.
shingles, and it's like this needly feeling
Yeah.
that they have.
It's
And they
it's,
and they
it's
and
horrible
it
feeling.
abates it very nicely.
Shingles is
Yeah.
Yes. And also, we have our body butter that goes along together great. I use this in combination after my shower, and then after my shower, I like to do a little drop of the 500 milligrams. That helps me throughout the day.
And then the brightening
helps
cream.
me.
The age right brightening cream.
I use all my products.
Yep.
And I use my brightening cream. This is a great product because I have a slight age. Well, it's age spot you call it. It's a dark
Oh, no.
spot. It's a
Right.
dark spot. So this helps with it before I use the
So what is it?
anti-aging.
What are you finding that is doing? Is it eliminating
lighting.
the color? basically,
it's not.
or-
Yes, it's just lighting. You need to use it probably at least 60 to 90 days before you start. I've used it probably for the past almost a month now. I see a slight discoloration now that's fading a little bit.
So it's not a cover up; it's an actual thing breaking up the
Fading,
spot.
correct.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is
that's-
nice. And then I have our hair growth conditioning and shampoo with Anagain that I use every day. I
Tea
just
tree
used
smell.
yesterday.
That's really nice
Yes,
product, though.
it's
It's very good. Very great
smells
for your
really
hair.
good,
Yeah.
and it's good for your hair. Strengthens
I've
your hair
tried
and
these.
grows your hair.
Yes.
And then we have Ivy Rose products that will be launching soon.
Probably in the beginning of the year.
Well,
Yeah, we'll
yes,
see.
soon.
We'll yeah,
First quarter of next year.
Yeah.
That is soon.
that's the beginning of the year.
Soon. So
So
we have the women's lubricant. This Priscilla herself. This was created by Priscilla. She's created by a woman, made for a woman. That's her tagline,
Yeah.
which is great. And this is the men's, the arousal.
and
men's
it's
that
created
came
by
out.
a woman made for a man.
Yeah. So they're both happy.
Women know best.
Yeah.
And after they're both happy, with lots of wine and champagne, they can wash down with Canicure. This helps all their
Prevented the hangover symptoms and
correct.
but yeah,
Yes,
you know,
all this will be on our website, which is hempboca.com.
Such a perfect little set for Florida, really.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It
You're
is.
covering all the bases of the Florida crowd.
Yes. This is all the time we have today for our show.
Yes.
I mean, it's been a great show. It seems like it hasn't been an hour, but thank you for being here, Phil, Dave.
And
Jesse.
we want to wish everybody a wonderful Christmas, happy
Holidays.
Hanukkah to everybody. And I can't believe that we've already surpassed 1 year of the Hempoka Show.
Yes.
We started November
Yes.
6th of 2018, and listen, we have got a lot of room to grow. We're getting better and better, and I look forward to next year. And
Yes.
happy holidays to you guys.
And we're gonna be
And,
we're gonna be doing a New Year's Eve. I'm sorry, a New Year's Eve
Show.
So
Leave it at that.
Don't leave it at
It's
that.
unbelievable.
Yes, stay tuned for that. That would be
Yes.
December 31st from
Yes.
2:30 to 3:30. Well, for now, have a great week, everyone.
Yes. Thanks for joining us.
Take care.
All right, have a good
Bye-bye.
day. Bye.
Bye.
Hemp Boca. products of purest natural ingredients, and providing a safe alternative method for relief from many symptoms, creating a healthier lifestyle without the use of opioids. Use hemp bokeh products for improved mental health and overall well-being. It's safe, legal, and non-psychoactive. Our pure and high-quality CBD is from clean industrial hemp, then extracted slowly over days to produce the strongest and most effective products on the market, made in the U.S. with no synthetic ingredients. Committed to bringing our customers the highest grade CBD oil on the market. Our industrial hemp, it's organic with no solvents and pesticides, gluten-free, vegan, full spectrum, and third-party double lab tested. Our top priority is your health and wellness, and we are confident you will love our products and the amazing relief so you can enjoy the things you love to do. Try our products and start living a healthier lifestyle. Hemp bokeh, good health and good sense are two of life's greatest blessings.
Experian Travel, a subsidiary of Cruise Planners Travel Advisor, is merely a selling agency and makes no warranty expressed or implied. Each Cruise Planners is individually owned and operated. Experian Travels and Cruise Planners, an American Express travel representative, has a tremendous reputation for quality, service, and a very competitive pricing for all of your travel needs. Our travel advisors will help you discover exciting adventures around the world, from cruises to land tours and completely packaged vacations. We specialize in all types of travel and will create an unforgettable vacation just for you.
One of the key principles we like to teach our members at Phil's Stock World is be the house, not the gambler. Stand around a casino, and every day you'll see thousands of people walk through the doors and play various games of skill and chance, and yet none of them are likely to ever be as rich as the person who owns the casino. That, over the long run, the odds are always in his favor. This is not gambling, it's a mathematical fact. How would you like us to teach you how to use this simple mathematical concept to turn investing from gambling into earning by teaching you to be the house? This is the key to learning how to be a true investor in the stock market and not just a hapless trader of stocks. Or, to sum it all up, we'll teach you to be the house and not the gambler.